Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Vox the Voice Productions brings you Gold Light City, a tale of crime, heroism, and intrigue. We hope you enjoy, and thank you for joining us at Vox the Voice. Gold Light City. They named it like a joke, and the punchline's been running too long. Maybe once it was gold. Back when men built things with their hands instead of singing away souls on paper. But that was before the suits got comfortable. Before the mob took its cut. Before justice became just another line item in a ledger. Now, it's all shadow. Just glitz and neon covering up the filth. Cops do what they can, but this city eats good men alive. The ones who play by the rules don't last. The ones who don't, well, they're just part of the problem. And that's where I come in. Name's Malone. Just Malone. No detective, no mister. I keep my head down. Take the cases the department won't. Turn over the stones they're afraid to touch. By day, I'm a private eye, digging up dirt, connecting the dots, slipping just enough to the cops so they can pretend they're doing their jobs. By night, that's different. When the badge boys clock out and the wolves come out to feed, I do what they won't. No badge, no rules, no warnings. Justice ain't about laws, it's about balance. And then when the scales tip too far, when the wrong kind of men start thinking they own the city, that's when I remind them what fear feels like. Got a case on my desk right now. Started simple. Missing girl, worried family. The usual. But things don't stay small in Gold Light City. Follow a loose thread long enough, and sooner or later, you find the hand pulling it. And I got a feeling I ain't gonna like the face I see at the other end. This ain't a case for daylight. This one's for the night. And lucky for me, I don't mind getting my hands dirty. A girl, young, full of promise, with the kind of parents that tell them that they're too good for this city. But cities like this don't care about promises. Her name was Eleanor Cross, age 22, college kid. Her parents said she was the kind that did everything right, but even good kids have to eat. And she worked nights at a joint called Jacob's, a hole-in-the-wall bar that looked like it had been left to die sometime after Prohibition, but just refused to. A place where the regulars were as clean as a back alley gutter, and drinks were about as strong as the regret that brought people there. She went missing over a week ago. Walked out the door to work one night and never came home. Cops did their usual song and dance, looked around, asked a few questions, then shrugged their way back to the precinct. They had bigger problems. They always did. That's why her parents came to me. So now it's my problem. I parked a block away, taking my time getting to the entrance. Didn't need to walk in with too many eyes on me. I slid my .38 into the toaster. It felt familiar. The weight. It settled against my ribs. Some guys carried a gun for protection. I carried it because sooner or later somebody was gonna need a bullet. The place reeked of stale beer and lost wages. The kind of joint where the jukebox still played tunes from 20 years ago because nobody had the stomach for anything new. The 1 hour till sundown, and the regulars were already staking their claim to their stools. Washed up drunks, burnouts, the ones who flunked out of life and didn't have anywhere else to be. I made my way to the bar. The owner was easy to spot. A big bastard, built like a whiskey barrel, with scarred knuckles and a face that looked like it had been through a few doors the hard way. Not just some pudgy guy running a dive. He's done things. The kind of things that stay with a man long after he's stopped doing them. I leaned in, voice low.
Looking for a girl, Eleanor Cross. You know her? He barely glanced up. Don't know the name. I expected that. Nobody in a place like this ever knew anything. At least not until you gave them a reason to. I sighed, pulled a picture from my coat and slid it across the bar. Look again, I said. Then I let my coat shift, just enough for him to see the gun. His eyes flickered, not just at the picture, at something else. Recognition. Fear. Yeah, he knew something. He hesitated. Licked his lips. She ain't work here. Didn't ask if she worked here. I asked if you'd seen her. He exhaled through his nose, rubbing at his face a couple times. Not here for a job. Just passing through. And if she was looking for fast cash, she wasn't gonna get it from me. He shifted uncomfortably. She probably ended up at Silver Mountains. Silver Mountains. The Gentleman's Club. I nodded, pocketing the photo. Thanks for your time. And now I have a lead. And I had a feeling things were just gonna get worse as it went on.
I stepped out of the bar, running the details over in my head. The girl had taken a job at a gentleman's club. A bad choice. But an easy way to make quick cash. And quick cash, that always came with strings attached. Maybe she pissed someone off. Maybe she got in too deep. Whatever the case, I was going to find out. I made my way back to the car when I caught it. Footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. Someone was following me. Could have been the bar owner. Maybe he didn't like me asking questions about the girl. Either way, this could be useful. I kept walking, letting them think I hadn't noticed. Sure enough, they stayed on me. I took a sharp turn down an alley, picking up the pace just enough that they'd have to do the same. A few steps in, I stopped. Turned, let my hand slip inside my coat, fingers wrapping around the cold steel of my .38. The guy rounded the corner, and I got a good look at him. Dock worker type. Big hands, rough skin, face like a busted shoe, and a drunk. The kind of drunk that makes a man think he's tougher than he is. His cheeks were red, thick with whiskey and bad decisions.
Hey there, Mr. Detective, he slurred, pointing a fat finger at me. You've been asking a few more questions than you got any business asking. Who the hell do you think you are threatening Jacob, huh? How about I kick your ass, smart guy? I almost smiled. I liked this part. The part where some idiot figured he could teach me a lesson. I gave him a once-over. No gun, no blade, just his fist, and he was itching to use them. Fine by me. I was good for a fist fight. If you think you should kick my ass, I said, then go ahead and try. See how that works out for you. He took the bait, stepping forward and swinging wide. I stepped clear. He threw another punch and caught his wrist, stepped in and drove a quick hook into his ribs. He grunted, staggering. An amateur. Just a loudmouth with too much booze and not enough brains. He came at me again. I weaved, let him graze me with a jab, then answered with a short cross to his jaw. His head snapped back. I followed with a shot to the gut. His breath whooshed out, and I finished it with a sharp uppercut that sent him sprawling. He tried to push himself up, blood dribbling from his busted nose. I let him, then put my boot on his hand and stepped down hard. He howled. "You know the girl?" I asked, my voice low. He didn't answer. I pulled the snub-nosed .38 and leveled it at his face. "Last chance. Do you know the girl, or are you spending the night in the alley for good?" He clenched his teeth, eyes darting around like a rat looking for a hole. He broke. "Yeah, I know her, damn it. Snobby little bitch with a nice pair. Works at Silver Mountains. The underboss took a liking to her." That was enough to make my stomach turn. "What happened to her?" "Ain't nobody seen her in a week," he groaned. "How the f am I supposed to know where she at? She's gone, man. That's all I got." I could tell he was telling the truth. As much as I wanted to break something else, I let off. I lifted my boot, and he curled his hand against his chest, groaning. "Thanks," I muttered. Then I put him out with a clean right hook. So I was right. She had gotten in with the wrong crowd, and now she was missing. I stepped out of the alley, just as the rain started coming down. Time to change. Time to get to work.